The 137th Annual Scottsbluff County Fair was held from July 27th through August 3rd. On July 31st, the sheep competitions took place. The sheep were divided into market, breeding, and showmanship classes.
We lead them by their heads, and we walk around in a big pen. Then we set them up, and they push on us, and we're supposed to set their feet in a rectangle. The judges look for good coverage on the ribs and large flicks.
You walk them in the ring. You want to keep the sheep in between you and the judge, and you set them up and you brace them with all four of their feet square. You want to step into them. You push on their chest, and it makes their muscles pop. And it makes their muscle expression really show and stand out.
Market sheep were divided by weight, and showmanship sheep had senior, intermediate, and junior divisions. The poultry shows also took place on July 31st. Poultry was divided into showmanship, market, and breeding classes.
So the important thing about showing a chicken for showmanship is that it's a medical examination along with knowing the history and characteristics about the breed. So usually that's what you would start with, is the history. So after you would do the history and that kind of stuff, you would just go through all the body parts and then list any important features about them, like feather color, any special defects, or any characteristics that make it a special bird. So then once you're finished going through all the body parts, you would pose your chicken, you would put your hands behind your back, and then just let him stand on his own. So it takes a lot of trust in your bird.
Poultry entries can include chickens, ducks, geese, and turkeys. On July 31st, fiber animals were shown at the fair. Fiber animals include goats, llamas, alpacas, rabbits, and sheep. Fiber animals are specifically raised to produce quality fiber, and classes are divided based on the age of the animal. The final 4-H event of July 31st was the Chicken Costume Contest. This event is where handlers and their chickens get dressed up in costumes and compete for prizes. The costumes this year included a sunflower, bumblebees, a patriotic chicken, hens in black, hot and ready chicken, and how to train your chicken. Eat S'more Beef won 3rd place, Husker Cheer Team placed 2nd, and Surfer Chicken took home the top prize. On August 1st, the rabbit competitions took place. Rabbits are divided into showmanship, market, and breeding classes. Market rabbits include 4 different classes, while breeding rabbits include 50 different classes. In rabbit showmanship, the handler gives a presentation about the rabbit and their specific breed, making sure to show off that the rabbit is healthy and all the specific traits that the rabbit has specific to its breed. The cookie jar auction took place on August 1st.
Decorated cookie jars are for anyone in 4-H can get a cookie jar and decorate it, and then they make cookies. So those cookies are judged based on taste and flavor, and then they have an auction to sell them, and then the buyer gets the cookie jar and the cookies that the kids make as well.
This year, 26 different cookie jars were entered and auctioned off. The highest bid for this year's auction was $735, beating last year's top bid by over $100. The beef shows began on August 1st with the market division. Market classes of beef include crossbred, purebred, and other breeds.
You gotta pay attention to the judge and what he's looking for, because you gotta scout ahead and make sure you see what he's looking for, and then you also gotta know how to set him up and where you're at and showing. If you're side by side, you set them up so that their feet are right next to each other, and then if you're following somebody, then you set them up so then one foot's in front of the other. Now they asked, this judge asked how much he weighed and how much he eats per day, and then he'll look for the market, or he'll feel the side for how big their back is and stuff.
The showmanship division was held on August 2nd. Classes included senior, intermediate, and juniors.
Kind of just walk them in there, and you have to put their front feet have to be square, and you scissor their back feet. You want them to be staggered, so you want the right back foot closer to you, farther forward than the left back foot. Other than that, you want to keep their head up.
Breeding classes were also held on August 2nd for the beef. The large animal round robin was held on August 2nd. The large animal round robin includes the grand champions from the swine, sheep, meat, goat, and beef shows in both 4-H and FFA. Each competitor must show all 4 different animals. Each type of animal was shown at the same time. The best overall showman was chosen based on their knowledge and skills with each animal. On August 2nd, the small animal round robin took place. The small animal round robin includes the grand and reserve champions from the dog, companion animal, dairy goat, fiber animal, poultry, and rabbit shows. However, due to an option rule, the companion animal was not present at this show. Each competitor must show each animal. Competitors rotated through different stations, beginning with their own animal. The best overall showman was chosen based on their knowledge and skill with each animal. Throughout the week, fair attendees could visit the event center for a look at all of the static exhibits. Static exhibits are projects that are made or grown by the exhibitor. 4-Hers can enter projects in a variety of categories, including, but not limited to, club displays, photography, clothing, quilting, knitting, crocheting, table setting, cake decorating, woodworking, horticulture, floriculture, leatherworking, visual arts, and handicrafts. Each project is judged and given a rating based on a set of standards. An open class is also available for the community. Community members of all ages who are not involved in 4-H can enter in this class. Categories include, but are not limited to, canned goods, baked goods, photography, horticulture, quilting, crocheting, handicrafts, woodworking, fine arts, cake decorating, and dimensional arts. These projects are also judged and given a placing based on a set of standards. Several local vendors were also on hand throughout the week in and around the event center. Many of the vendors had games and activities for attendees to play and participate in. The Fraser Shows Carnival returned to Mitchell for the fair again this year.
We got the Scotts Bluff County Fair going on, the biggest and baddest in the county. We've probably got about 20 rides here, all the favorites. The Zipper was rebuilt and brought back, it's over there. We have a giant guitar ride. The Zero Gravity will spin on its axis, take in the air at 45 degrees and give you a couple G's of force, pinning you against the wall. We have lots of games. We brought additional foods this year. The cheesesteak and hamburger joint wasn't here. We got a brand new bouncy castle in honor of our firefighters. It's the Fire Dog, a fire-themed bouncy castle. We got our Ferris wheel, which is always a crowd favorite. And like I said, more games than you could play if you had a whole day to play them. We always have a great turnout. Mitchell and Nebraska is like our second home.
The livestock sale was the final 4-H event of the fair, and it took place on August 3rd.
Basically, it's just people came, the buyers will signify by raising their hand or nodding their head if they would like to bid that particular increment or number that we're asking. And then once they do, we ask for the next increment from someone else, and that just continues like that back and forth until all the bids are exhausted and we sell out to the last highest bidder. They have all the fairs all the livestock is cattle, hogs, sheep, chickens, and poultry, and then the rabbits. Those usually some rabbit exhibits too. So we sell them all, just so many dollars for the animal, and then some of them that are retained. In other words, the youngster wants to keep it for whatever reason, maybe take it to some different shows. If it's not retained, the buyer does have the option to take and process it and get it butchered and processed for meat. And some do, some don't. Resale, yeah. That means if it's not retained, if it's available for processing, but the buyer don't want to process it, then they just sell it back to whoever's buying the excess animals. It's awful important for, you know, to learn the business, to learn the work ethic involved in getting an animal to this stage. It's the future, and we're in an agricultural community, agricultural state, and it's just good to give back to some of these kids that have worked through the entire year to get to this point. And they have their projects, and they're responsible to take care of them, fit them, show them, and get them ready for the sale. So it's really an educational experience, as well as making a little money, perhaps for college funds and so forth. I've helped Scotts Bluff County Fair for 45 years. This is my 45th year. Donating my time, you know, we don't put in a lot of money into the deal, but we try to support with our work and our labor and help.
You know, we have a great committee that really takes that sale on of volunteers and works together with the community to get, you know, businesses invited out here. Our community really does support our local youth. And so, you know, I guess I'm not really surprised because they are just such a giving community, our businesses. So yeah, we're just appreciative of it for the youth.
This fair especially is one of the most supported fairs around. If you've noticed, we read off those friends of the livestock sale this year. Various people around will go out and gather this money from these different businesses don't all want to come and attend the sale, but they'll donate to a fund, a pot, and then these people can use all that money to support, and there must be 35, 40 of them in that buyer pool.
Platte Valley Companies, obviously we're a community-minded organization and we love to give back to the communities that we serve, but especially we have a special place in our heart for our youth ag organizations, and 4-H and FFA are one of the two only local. FFA and 4-H are really integral in developing our young youth to become agricultural leaders. So the livestock sale is just one opportunity for us to support those individuals and those youth in their projects and give back into the community.
We raised $541,300 for 197 animals that went through the sale. This year, that was also a record for the Scotts Bluff County Fair.
Following the fair, we sat down with fair organizers to get their thoughts on how the fair went.
We had a great week. We did have some, you know, a day that we got a significant amount of rain, so it kind of delayed things for us. But, you know, the show went on and it was great. It was hot this week, extremely hot for people, but, you know, it didn't seem to detour evening outings and all that. So, you know, we were pleased. We were pleased with how, you know, the attendance and just the week, you know, in general.
The fair went really good. It was really smooth. Everybody did a great job. There was lots of exhibitors. They all looked like they were having really fun on our back end. Everything went really smoothly. Nothing super chaotic that happened, and I think everyone really had a really good fair, minus the few days of over 100 degrees, but other than that, it was really good. Thank you to all of our sponsors, our volunteers, the kids and parents, and everyone who worked really hard to make the fair run as successful as we can. The barn superintendents, the parents helping the kids get to this point, the kids working hard and getting this far with their animals, and the quality and the level that they brought, and anyone else who helped in some way, shape, or form for the county fair. Thank you for all of your support, and the community to the support for the kids in this community.
Thank you to our patrons, to our sponsors, our volunteers. I mean, there's just so many people that make it work. It's just a group effort. It's a 7-day event with lots happening and so many people behind the scenes that maybe want to be behind the scenes, but they make the fair and the week what it is, and we can't do it without them, and we're just appreciative of that.
2024 marks the 10th anniversary of the re-inflation of the Old West Balloon Fest, and organizers are excited to be celebrating a decade of dreams. The festival will return August 8th through the 10th with some changes. For more information, visit www.theoldwestballoonfest.com. Be sure to check out the community calendar and more stories from around the area on our website at www.aroundthetownnews.wordpress.com. Thanks for watching Around the Town News.